Well, the idea of cybersecurity came up during that big summit between President Biden and President Putin. This is West Michigan's Morning News. Steve Kelly, Brett Bakita, and Lauren Smith. And now, U.S. Energy Secretary opposing ransomware payments. On the live line with us this morning, cybersecurity analyst Matt Malone. Thank you for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
Quick aside, that U.S. Energy Secretary, Jenny Granholm, used to be our governor. So I guess the question, Matt, is if we oppose ransomware payments and push toward better cyber defenses, is that what you call it? How is that done?
Absolutely. So the big thing to kind of think about is in the days of old, I mean, people were attacking our data. Now they're actually holding our data ransom, right? And that's a bigger problem. So the way to kind of stop this stuff is most of these hacks are coming through people, right? They're not attacking our systems, they're attacking our people. So whether it's a phishing scam, whether it's, injection of malware, or an insider threat where they've actually converted someone and now they're paying them in order to install that malware, that's the problem. So we have to kind of rethink about what we're protecting and how we're protecting it. So instead of protecting technology, we need to protect our people.
Wow. So when you have to do that three-stage authentication process to sign into your email because you're working remotely, maybe you shouldn't be complaining about it.
That's right. Well, and really a cybersecurity person should be able to not be an intrusive, measure in front of that, but should be able to make things happen quickly and efficiently. So, for instance, two-factor authentication should be once you authenticate through two-factor, you're done. For a while, that system, that computer, it now knows that that's a trusted device. But the problem is it's when you pay these ransoms, it is becoming very profitable for these, outside actors. I mean, if you look at just the attacks that happened last year, at this time, we were somewhere around the 12 mark. This year, we're, heading up in this month to 31 different attacks. And these guys are getting paid $11 million. That's a pretty good living.
Yeah. Well, is it time for a cyber counterattack? I know that President Biden said, hey, careful there, Jack. We can do this stuff, too.
Yeah, it's difficult for us because, we kind of play by the rules, right? So if you're an attacker in China, if you're an attacker in Russia, and you attack a U.S. company, good for you. If you're in the U.S. and you attack a Chinese or a Russian company, you actually get arrested. So that's kind of the problem that we're facing is that when you play by the rules and they're playing by the rules or not playing by the rules, you have a problem. So I think what we're really going to have to do is kind of tighten the screws down and say, look, if they're not going to play by the rules, we need to come up with a new rule book.
Matt, that was one of my questions is not only are we severe enough when that happens in our country and what the penalties are, just don't seem to hear the follow-up on that, but also the fact of should that be more publicized when they do get caught, what happens to those people just to use it as a preventative measure maybe against other people?
Well, you're absolutely right. So even just last month, there was a police department that actually was ransomware, and they hid it. They didn't tell anybody. So it was Southern California, there was a police department that got ransomware, and they didn't tell anybody. Right? So that's problematic. If we're not sharing information, if we're not openly, publicly talking about what's going on, A, we don't know the risks, and B, we don't know the punishments, right? So we have to kind of make that public. I can give you an example of, I had a gold customer that they basically were hacked into, and it was not only this gold customer, but several across the U.S., and what the attacker was doing was stealing $10,000 worth of gold a month. We figured out who the attacker was. We worked with the FBI. We were able to stop the attack, but more importantly, we knew where he was, and we couldn't do anything about it because he was in China.
Wow.
That's problematic. They have to work with us.
Matt's company is called Vistrada. Cybersecurity analyst Matt Malone. A pleasure. Thank you for your time today.
Thank you.